Good morning from the holiday village Aqi Skanes. I'll repeat that because the bottle just popped, the bottle of water that I'm carrying. Good morning from the holiday village Aqi Skanes. Filming this video on our last day. It's about 6:30 in the morning, so I don't want to talk too loud while I'm in this corridor. But I just wanted to do a quick video, hopefully quick. I do tend to waffle. Giving a bit of insight on our experience at the hotel. Other people might find it useful. Basically the type of video that I would have been looking for when I was researching this for reviews and videos on YouTube. So here we've just left, there's that pop again, room 4115, which is our room for the week, which overlooks this main activity pool area. See, it's very quiet at the moment. Half term well and truly over. Schools go back on Monday for me, for my area. But yeah, an awful lot quieter than when we first arrived. We'll talk about that and the Sunbed situation in a moment. But this is our room here, just up there with those lilos. And down here, you see some little pots there. There's some cats that live under there, cat, kitten. Very popular, people feeding them, my son included, with bits of turkey from the buffet and milk. So, and here I will just add in, if my editing skills allow, a quick walkthrough of our room as it was when we arrived on Saturday.
Whoever you are, get yourself in that pool. Yeah, that is a one-nighter performance down there. Sorry for that, everybody. Okay, our next number leaving us is number 4.
Okay, so if all went to plan, you will have seen a video of when we first arrived on Saturday the 30th of May. You'll notice how loud it was with the music. It's not that loud now. Excuse me, my voice just went. Also, hopefully you might hear an improvement in the audio quality of this video now, because I realised that my mic mini wasn't working, and so I've just had to effectively reset the camera and repair it. But anyway, hopefully the video's a bit better. So you can see now some slides. All slides are now fully operational. When we first arrived, in fact I think when we first arrived that orange flume wasn't working, and the blue bendy slide certainly wasn't working. The orange one came back online pretty quick, either the same day, Saturday, that we arrived, because we were here about lunchtime, or it might have been the Sunday, can't quite remember, all the days blur into one. The blue one's now been working since Wednesday, I think, so we're all up and running. Good fun, not the widest selection, not the most adventurous of slides, no space bowl or anything like that, but they're good. The lifeguards are safe but fair. What I mean by that is, if you've been to the holiday village in Sharm el Sheikh, the holiday village Red Sea, and you've gone to the water park over the road, the back hotel, they won't let you down those slides, or certainly not in my experience, the multiple times I've been there, they won't let you down with action cams, you know, GoPros, etc, etc. Whereas here they will. They just want to make sure that everything is safe, no sharp edges. Equally good with kids as well, you know, like little kids who don't quite meet the height restrictions are okay to go down with a parent, but they do just make sure that there's going to be someone there to catch. So everyone's having fun, there's no killjoys, don't go crazy with the whistles, that kind of thing. You can see one of the gardening staff there, and you might be able to see just wandering around in the background. I think that's the chap from the bar. Morning. We'll probably, in fact, I'll have a quick look over now, show you the pool bar. Not a massive pool bar, but it certainly services, and the guys behind it, there's usually 3 of them, work very, very hard. All the staff work hard, in fairness. They're all really, really good guys. And girls. But yeah, I'm not going to get much closer because I really can't be bothered, but it's that one with the white shutter down, just beyond those kids' slides. So that's your main pool bar. And as I think I said, that whole area is the main activity pool. We'll loop back round to it, so you'll see it at the very end of the video if all goes to plan. But they do, you know, water polo in there. They have the big inflatable twin track, like a big inflatable obstacle course, which again, if editing skills allow, I'll pop a video in, a pre-recorded video in a moment or two. I'll tell you when, and then you'll know whether it worked or whether it didn't work. Do paddle boards, body boards. They haven't yet, if you've been to other holiday villages, they haven't got like the water walkers, you know, like the big hamster wheel type things, hamster ball type things, or indeed the wheels. There's for 2 variants, isn't there? Don't know if they're supposed to be here or not, but they aren't yet. But we are currently on the 5th of June. I think it's only been a holiday village for a little over a month. And as I understood, even things like the twin track, and the bows and arrows for the archery, they weren't here apparently when it first opened. You know, they've been sort of like drip feeding. Before I cut to that video of the twin track, here is a mini golf course. We've not played it yet. Mini golf, crazy golf, whatever you want to call it. Not played it yet because the ball was missing. Again, harking back into that, or looping back into that theme of equipment or lack of. But the ball was missing, but apparently it was found. I saw someone playing it yesterday, so I might try and have a game later, unless it's been lost again, because I quite fancy a go on this loop-the-loop to see if I can do it. Morning, mate. That guy is really, really nice, really, really nice. Cleaning / maintenance staff. But yeah, right, if editing allows, here is the twin track. Enjoyed that, or you didn't, because I don't know if it worked. Did you see that dramatic zoom out from the loop-the-loop? There's the beach, just where that flag is waving. I think that's the water sport hut area. In fact, you might just be able to see a covered speedboat motor there. But we did the water sports the other day. One of those crazy UFO things. They call it the crazy couch or crazy sofa, whatever. But we did that, and again, if editing skills allow, I'll pop that in a minute, or I won't. So you got some swim up rooms on the left here. There's quite a few swim up rooms. They look nice. I don't know how deep the pools are, but they do look quite nice. Half regret not trying to upgrade to one, but at the same time we probably wouldn't have used it that much. They're not the biggest of pools, and they are still slightly shared. But yeah, towel station, opening times. The guy in here is really nice. Little guy with glasses. Morning. I thought I'd just seen him then. Could have tried to make him famous to all of my 4 subscribers, but he wasn't there. This is the quiet pool area, so I'll loop back to that in a minute because my editing skills are already getting rather stretched, and I said that I'd show you the crazy couch, but we'll loop back to the activity pool in a minute. This is they call it the snack restaurant, I call it the beach restaurant. Opening times 12:30 till 4. Very popular, loads of indoor seating. I don't know if you can see it, there is loads. That's not going to do it justice whatsoever, but there's some outdoor seating as well, which gets really popular, especially when it first opens. So the doors, as you can see there, doors are supposed to open at 12:30. They're a little bit inconsistent on that. Sometimes they will open at 12:30 on the dot, and so people are queuing outside because they want one of these tables, myself included. I'm just as bad. Other times you'll rock up at 12:30, and all these tables, or vast majority, have gone because I've opened the door a little bit early. So such is life. So here's some pictures of the food from the beach restaurant. We've got our pizzas. That pepperoni pizza using beef pepperoni, I think it was really nice. Who doesn't love a boomerang? But the service in the restaurant is pretty good. They were very busy when we first arrived, but that service did massively improve as the hotel got quieter, and it massively improved with a small tip. So here's a tip for you. If you want a bottle of beer rather than just the little glasses, a tip goes a long way, and you will be welcomed like a king, and your beers will be served with a little glass and an accompanying bottle. I think those bottles were 650ml for those interested. Great views though when you're having your lunch. Beach bar, times it open. Not really used this that much, to be honest with you. Beach bar opens at 10 till 6. And there's a sandwich bar here. They do toasted sandwich. I've still not had one. I might try and have one today because it's our last day. But yeah. And then you've got this small decking area, which I think really needs, ideally, expanding a bit because it's limited. How many tiered tables you got here? 6, plus a couple of barrel ones at the back. And the decking is well on the wonk as well. I don't know if you can quite see it, but if you're sat at that table there, which we were on our first day, and then someone, in fact you can see it now, it's wobbling, and that's not just because I'm a fat get. So if you're sat on that and the table's on it, your drink goes everywhere. I know from experience. Really nice beach. Not the deepest, you know, from entry to the beach bar, but really nice soft sand. And we'll quickly just nip up here because it will play into my editing skills or lack of. We'll quickly nip up here. Right, okay, so a couple of speedboats, and those speedboats do all sorts of fun things, like pull you around for your parasailing, which is exceptional value. I can't get my son to do it, and I don't want to do it on my own, and my wife won't do it, she's done it before, but it's exceptional value for 2 people. I think it works out at about £35 for 1 lap, which for me would be enough because I'm not great with heights anyway. I am hoping to convince my son to do it today. He needed some convincing to do the crazy couch sofa thing, so which incidentally cost, I couldn't be bothered faffing with it. It was, you know, it would have worked out at about £38 or whatever. I just gave the man £40, and that was for 3 of us for 2 laps. 40 English pound, that is. I think it was roughly, that was about 150 Tunisian dinar for 2 laps on the crazy couch. It was good fun, really good fun, and I think the prices for the water sports are really quite reasonable compared to other places. In fact, I'd say they're really good. So, you know, if you were to compare it to the likes of Turkey, But here is that video, hopefully.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Okay, so you either saw a video or you didn't. What you'll see now is my shadow. Sun is behind, it's still rising. The time now, because of all the time when I was messing around having to reset my microphone, etc., it's now 7 minutes past 7. So we'll have a quick look at the activity pool. Believe it or not, I know you won't believe this, because clearly from this ad-lib script, I am a professional travel blogger, but believe it or not, this is actually my third attempt at a video. I did one the other day, it was ages, just me wandering around waffling. Then I did one yesterday where I tried to be a little bit funnier, deleted it. Wasn't that funny, but I'd had a few beers, so it was hilarious in my head. Oh, I came up the stairs, could have showed you a bit of variance and gone up the ramp, but I didn't. Okay, so part 3 of my fantastic editing skills. Hopefully in a minute we'll show you the foam party yesterday, which I don't want to be too negative. I don't want to be negative about it, but morning. It was, I suspect it might be better when the hotel's busier, but you don't always want the hotel to be busier, because I'll talk about the sunbeds later. But it was alright, it was good fun. We put it on, we made the effort, and I will add the video in shortly. Just before I do, just quickly wander over here with these cones doing whatever they're supposed to be doing. Don't know what's so unsafe about that. But you've got a gym in there. I'm not going to go in case there's people working out. I've not actually used it this holiday, as you might see if you catch my reflection in any screens. But you've got the gym there. Here, the sun sets over in that direction, but I'm pointing now. So you get quite a few people down here taking lovely sunset photos and selfies and family pictures. Really nice. I've got some. In fact, I've got a few. And yeah, the sunsets are quite spectacular. Really, really pretty. So this stage area here is supposedly for the outdoor entertainment, which is currently in a room, a large room, which is grown on me through the holiday. I'll talk about that in a bit. But it was supposed to be moving out here on the 1st of June, which would have been Monday. Still not happened. Apparently, just from reading some Facebook posts, this is awaiting safety sign-off. You know, make of that what you will. But yeah, activity pool, little kids pool here, and here is a video of a foam party. That was good, wasn't it? Right, okay, this is your game centre, which is basically 3 pool tables and air hockey. They have sorted the pool cues. Only one of them was a bit half decent. Well, only one had a tip basically, so they seem to have sorted the tips. That one swallowed 2 of my Tunisian dinar last night, so I'd avoid that one, although I did see someone playing it afterwards. So they either got a free game or they complained. I couldn't be bothered complaining for what was about, I don't know, 60p. So anyway, there you go. Let's not linger. Okay, so back out by the activity pool, and here's your a la carte. So this one here we've not been to. This is the Tunisian a la carte. It looked nice when I went in last night because I went into the wrong restaurant. There was a guy playing instrument. Didn't look very busy. It looked pretty good. And then the Italian is that one there. You can just see the door, maybe just beyond those tables. That was nice as well. The service was really good. And in fact, again, let's see if my editing skills allow, and I'll put a couple of pictures in. Here's the food from the Italian.
Lasciatemi cantare con la chitarra in mano, lasciatemi cantare, sono un italiano. Buongiorno Italia, gli spaghetti al dente, e un partigiano come presidente, con l'autoradio sempre nella mano destra e un canarino sopra la...
Right, that was good. And again, did you see the cut? Right, we're walking past the main buffet restaurant now. I'll have it like that and I'll suck in, which is easier than it sounds, just in case it catches my reflection. But there's already people in there because it opens at 7. It's good. It's the food overall is of a very good quality, particularly for a buffet restaurant. And they've got this outdoor seating here as well, which, as the hotel has got quieter, it's much easier to get. I mean, we've sat every time we've used a buffet for breakfast or evening meal. We've sat in this area, so we've never really struggled to get a table. Or if we have, we've rocked up. There's been no table, and we've gone for a drink, and then we've come back, half an hour later and got a table. You could book some activities there with a guy called Alibaba. That's what he calls himself. Nice guy. Right. Should we go in? We'll go in, quick, come on. I'm not going to go into the buffet restaurant though, because people are eating and I just don't really like doing that. So, it's a bit dark. I don't know what frames per second I've got this camera set to, so I'm suspecting, because I've had to reset it, I'm suspecting you might get a bit of flicker here. So I apologise. Just gone past the shop. There's your main reception. I'll get the shop again in a minute, don't worry. Main reception. Plenty of seating area. This is covered. It is indoors. It's quite nice, eh? Quite nice. Gets relatively busy in the evening. Again, talk about busyness shortly. There's no lights on down here, so I don't know how this will come across in the video. But yeah, that's your bar. It's much nicer when it's all lit up. That's my favourite seat. That's where I beat everyone at Uno. And then if we go through here, there's some toilets over there. You've got another pool table. This was out of order for a while, but it seems to be working again. More popular than the one in the game centre. And then you've got some limited outdoor seating here. So what's that? 4 tables. 4 tables. So we sat there our first night when the son went to the chocolate party. So we went and sat out there. It was nice. Not much of a view, mind. It is effectively the front of the hotel. So I did say, because I walked straight past the shop, although you're not going to see much because it's lit up. It's not lit up, rather. But there is a small shop here. Not that small, in fairness. Just go quite far back. Sells all your usual, these kind of things. All cool stuff that you've probably bought on many, many holidays before. And I think a tube of Pringles might cost about £4, £4.50. So, there we are. Right, and so now we are outside the front of the hotel. I think the drive you come down is dead ahead there, and then you've got a load of tennis courts with seating over there. Got another tennis court with sort of like a grandstand type seating over there. It's very popular with tennis players. Don't know the full history. Google it if you'd really like to know, but what I will say is that I was a bit apprehensive when we booked this about the hotel being overrun with tennis players and, you know, tennis bags lying everywhere. That's because I saw some of that on pictures and videos from when I was researching it. But it's not the case. There's plenty of them around. They don't get in your way. There is a sign in the guest relations area asking the tennis players, you know, not to effectively leave their stuff all lying around and obstruct, you know, to obstruct Holiday Village guests. So, and they've all been cool. To be honest with you, I've spoken to a couple, and they've all been very nice. This is an amphitheatre which doesn't get used. Apparently, it used to get used, but it doesn't anymore, which seems a bit of a waste. And so, we'll walk over in a minute. Well, now, I'll try and do it quickly. You can hear heavy breathing, by the way. It's not that I'm that unfit. I think I've just got the microphone a bit too close to my mouth. Main security gate. Just outside that gate, just to the left, in fact you can see the building really, just behind those flags, is an ATM. There is a small charge. I think it's charged something like 3 dinar to take money out. We took a bit of money out on our first day and then ended up going and getting it changed. You know, just for tips. So, right, I'll put a picture in here. I will use my editing skills, hopefully, and I'll show you a picture of the main indoor area. Main indoor entertainment area as is currently being used. And hopefully you will see that picture around about now. Okay, hopefully that worked. Here is your kids club. Welcome to Holiday Village Club. That's like a main meeting point where you go and drop your kids off. Yeah, and then they can do their activities and you can get a bit of peace and quiet around the pool. Some more tennis courts. Bear in mind, it's still only 7:20, so no one's playing in a minute. Although I have seen some on the way to breakfast, some players going down to breakfast, so. Right, while we're walking around here, we might as well talk about the Sunbeds then, yeah? So, as I say, today is Friday the 5th of June. We go home tomorrow, Saturday the 6th. When we arrived, which would have been Saturday the 30th, it was super busy, like super busy. We arrived at home, we were in our room basically for midday. Which was great. You know, we didn't have to wait long for our room at reception when checking in, which was, by the way, just filling in a form. Here's the archery range, good fun. But yeah, really good actually on this subject. The bows and arrows are all new, so they're really, really good. So come down here for some good Robin Hood style skills. But yeah, as I was saying, it was really, really busy. So we were looking for a sunbed by about 12. Good luck. Did manage to find 2 right out of the way around the main activity pool. Not the kind of area where you'd ideally want to sit. It was actually very close to the mini golf that I was showing you before. There's an indoor pool here. I'll get back on topic in a minute, I promise you. There's an indoor pool. Don't know how well you can see it. Did see some tennis players in there yesterday. I don't know if they've got some kind of physio going on in there or something, but anyway. So yeah, back to the sunbeds. But yeah, it was really, really busy. And I was like, oh no. Have you ever been to like the Holiday Village Turkey or the superior Tui Blue Tropical or Family Life, whatever they call it, next door in Sarıgürme, you'll know what I'm talking about. It, you know, everyone was cramped in next to each other. No room at the inn for some pasty Brits looking to get their tan on. And you know, you're like, oh god, is this what the week's going to be like? And the first couple of days, yeah, actually it was. You know, 6:30, 6 o'clock, 6:30, vast majority of the sunbeds had towels on them. No one down there, obviously, but vast majority of them had towels on. In fairness, maybe they were just all out making videos. Football academy there. Pretty decent looking pitch, in fairness. So look. But as the week's gone on, it's got quieter and quieter. So my son, for example, gets 2 weeks at May half term. Good quality of it, isn't it? It's decent. Yeah, he gets 2 weeks May half term. So we've come the second week because the prices were better as well. So I think a lot of people, obviously, you know what it's like. They'll take the kids out of school for an extra couple of days to save money on the prices. I agree. You know, I agree with it. That's not a judgy comment. I'd do the same. In fact, I think we're doing it in October. But what I'm saying is that when the traditional first week of half term, you know, came to an end, which would have been the end of May, very start of June, it's died down dramatically. It's almost died down to the point where it feels too quiet around the activity pool, to be honest with you. It's gone from being really, really busy, but vibrant, slashed with maybe a bit too much over exuberance, to being really quite chilled now, even around there. They've even turned the music down. So, but certainly, if you're here and you're not in peak school holiday time, the sunbed situation is absolutely fine. If you're here in peak school holiday time, I do think you are talking, you know, if you want sunbeds, you're joining the 6 o'clock club. So just bear that in mind. It's the way it is. Probably not as bad as I say, Holiday Village Turkey, or the Tropical next door, Family Life, whatever they've renamed it, they keep on changing the name. But far worse than the likes of Holiday Village Red Sea in Sharm, where the overall sunbed situation, I think, is just better. If you've been there, you'll know what I'm talking about, because all the beds are spaced out, you know, with those fixed parasols down by the main activity pool, which is where we always like to sit when we're there. Whereas here, as you'll see, in fact, because I'm going to walk back up, actually, I'll walk up to our beds. Here, as you will see, the beds are more closely packed in together. Let's just cut across the grass because time's ticking. Also, while I'm at it, have I got any other videos that I think I need to add in with my editing skills, or pictures? Can't quite remember. If I do, I'll just tag them all on at the end. So it'd be like a little bonus reel of mediocre content. But yeah, look, all these, if it's yellow, there's no one's claimed it. Blue, claimed. Yellow, especially if the mattress is still propped up, not claimed. There's loads. It's so quiet. I mean, it's 7:25 now, so it's far quieter and far more relaxed. Oh, and also, we always do this thing about 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. All these beds have been moved back. You'll see the beds aren't underneath the parasols because they pulled them back, and they'll have pulled them back on the grass up here. Yeah, mine's moved as well. And they clean the tiles. So, and then they come and put them back again. They will work around you if you if you don't move. But obviously, you know, they're doing the job, so just get out of the way. Yeah, so we're just coming up to our beds now. I mean, these aren't, well, they're all pulled back for a start. They're not all squashed together too much, are they? And there's these ones on the grass over here. It's just, we were on the grass a few days ago, but loads and loads of flies. Just, you know, not like flies, horrible flies, just loads of little flying bugs all over you all the time. So, didn't want to put up with it again. But yeah, so there we are. That's a bit of a walk round. I might put some bonus content at the end if I can scrape anything together. Would I come back? Yes, for the right price. If this was the same price as the likes of Holiday Village at Red Sea, or even if it was a, you know, £300 or £400 in it, I think I'd choose there. But what this place does have going for it is the flight time, frankly. It's like just under a 3-hour flight. We flew from Birmingham. Even though we're in the northwest, it was just cheaper to fly from Birmingham than Manchester on this occasion. We've done it before. But, you know, for just under 3 hours, and then a private transfer, which cost £70 and took about 45 minutes, you know, consider that with the likes of, if you compare it with the likes of Sharm or even Turkey, you know, you're still in the air. Whereas, you know, less than 4 hours travel time, not including the time wandering through the airport and, you know, passport control, etc. But, you know, you're there. So, pros and cons. I would come here again for the right price. And I would give it probably 8 out of 10. Or 4 out of 5 on TripAdvisor. But we'll see. We'll see. Right, hope that was useful. I can see my wife, she's probably thinking, why are you making another video? That's because I will tell her that this is my 3rd attempt because my other videos were rubbish. If this was useful, give it a thumbs up. If it wasn't, give it a thumbs down. Really not bothered because I'm not getting famous, but hopefully it was useful. Alright, bye. Yes. Oh.